Observe yourself. Observe every movement, your breath, your sensations, sound. The feeling like you are observing yourself. Because you see, the observer and the observer are one, or the perceiver and the perceive are one, or the seer and the seen are one. These are all just pointings to that which you are, which is this awareness, this stillness that has not changed a one bit since I started this video. Now, things around you might actually change, like any sound, any sensation, any interpretation. These things are not separate from you. That's why it's very important for you, not you as a person, but you as awareness. And yes, awareness is appearing as the person because there's only this awareness of appearances. And in that arises the world of concepts. So very, very important to be aware and to recognize this right here is a biochemical machine. You're not in charge of it. There's too much conditioning, too much habits, patterns, chemical, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. And I don't know if I'm forgetting more, but you get what I'm saying. Digestion, breathing, heartbeat. You're not really controlling that, are you? Now you may say I'm having a conscious breath, but that's part of the interpretation. Are you doing the interpretation? Because if you are, number one, you wouldn't be watching this video. Number two, you would be in control of all your thinking, all your thoughts. And where do those happen? Where do those arise from? Where is everything appearing from? And that's what we're pointing to here, which things in your environment may happen and you have no control over them. You may interpret them a certain way. When you observe these happenings, these things in your environment, within you, which everything that is happening in your body or anything around you is being observed, it's being watched. And you see, there isn't a separate observer from what's being observed. Krishnamurti talked about the observer and the observed are one. And what he points to, it's that there isn't someone behind experience. There's only experience. There isn't an experiencer. The experiencer is an interpretation itself, which doesn't really separate experience. We could say it creates the illusion of it, but that's a little bit too far. What we're saying is that it splits experience into I'm here and that is over there. That's that and this is me. Or that's not me and this is me. So it wants to split it. Not that it wants to, but that's just its nature, because the moment you understand something, the moment you want to grasp something, you've already created that split. That's just the nature of life. You know, for you to have an experience, that's duality already. We could say that life is duality. You couldn't have a relationship with another if there wasn't that split. And really what I'm pointing to here is that this is unity experiencing itself as separation. This moment here right now, it doesn't create the split. There is no separation because there's only one experience. You can notice that you are aware of the sense of separation, of the sense of split, of a distance, of a gap. But that only happens when interpretation arises, which doesn't really create anything. It just makes you believe. It happens in you, as you, because there's only just an awareness of appearances. And so be aware every moment of the words you say, the thoughts you believe, sensations in your body, any reaction you have. We could say that there is really just reaction, and then there's an awareness to reaction. There's an awareness to experience, which is thoughts, sensations, emotions, appearances, sound, shapes, movement. And that is what experience is. But then we're using the tool of interpretation or mind that we overlay that raw, pure experience into stories and meanings. And that's where the suffering comes, where the someone behind experience makes it personal. It gives it too much meaning. It creates a self-image, a story about you. So when you become the observer of that and you observe the observer, the apparent observer, that can kind of get mixed screwed here, but the observer and the observer are one. There is no split. It's the recognition that you must accept everything. Like I said, it's unity, having the experience of apparent separation, but it's actually just experiencing itself. A good analogy is when you're playing a video game, the character in the game is the game, and it's experiencing the game as part of the game. It doesn't separate. It knows that it's in its own game, experiencing its own self in a way. But what's constant? What's always there? Who's actually playing the character? And I don't mean playing as controlling. See, that's where it gets misconstrued because control is just another part of the game. You're only controlling the game. It's not that you have control. It's just part of the game. But it's that awareness, that stillness. The only truth here is that there is awareness. And in that, you don't really need to control because you don't have control. You don't need control. Control is part of a reaction, it's survival based. It's still you trying to become. But let's not lose the emphasis here, which is observation, awareness. I didn't do this. I didn't make this video. I didn't say these words. You didn't watch the video. There's only observation of that. There's only awareness of appearances. Awareness is aware of those things. And in that, there's an allowance. You don't need to control it. There's no reason to control it. So a powerful practice is to go through your day and really observe the words, your movements, the sense of doer, the thinker, the feeler, and remove the sense that there is someone behind experience and realize that there's only one intimate experience, that it's not separate from you, it is you. And there is nothing that you can do to separate yourself from it. There's nothing that you can do to own it, to keep it. See it within your direct experience, because that is the only truth that you will ever have.